Dragon's Dogma, The Beginning. Written by Ryo Mizuno. Translated to English by Liz of Kutan Cosplay. Narrated by Chainsaw McFacepunch. Chapter 2. The barren field surrounding the tainted mountain was dotted with thousands of tents. Flags bearing coat of arms flew from tent poles. Among them were those of Bauer, Margrave of Roland, Francel the Red Lion King, and Regis LeBeau. Armor-clad men wielding every kind of weapon imaginable milled about hurriedly. A huge army had gathered at this encampment. The white smoke Sald and Svan had seen was rising from a cooking fire. Svan weaved around the milling soldiers, his expression still stony. "What is the meaning of this, Master Svan?" Sald asked guardedly. "These are the armies of every lord on this continent. No doubt His Majesty Leonard has summoned the worm hunt here." Svan quickened his pace as he replied, heading for a tent which flew an especially large flag. Outside the tent stood God King Leonard. Sald had accompanied Svan on several audiences with the king. Though pawn that he was, he doubted Leonard had paid him any mind at all. "Your Majesty," his expression unchanging. Svan approached Leonard and knelt before him. Sald stopped some distance from the two, watching his master. Leonard smiled broadly. "I am glad to see you here safe." He bade Svan stand and embraced him. When Svan and Sald had departed in pursuit of the dragon, the king had entrusted Svan with an official letter to be delivered to the Duke of the Leogrand Peninsula. The contents of that letter remained unknown to Svan. He was eager to set out on his journey again after finishing his task, but was held back for almost a month by the Duke's reception, though Svan had surely wanted to decline the offers of hospitality. As an emissary of the king, he was unable to do so. "What is the meaning of this?" Svan asked, surveying the encampment once again. "Just as it would appear. I have called on every ruler of this land to join my cause, and they have gathered here to defeat the worm." Leonard gestured at the surrounding tents proudly, arms outstretched. "'Tis not an enemy that can be overcome by sheer numbers. This will only lead to more unnecessary sacrifice. Was I not entrusted to take this expedition on alone?" Sald knew what Svan referred to. In order to be granted permission to slay the dragon, Svan had been assigned various trials by Leonard and had completed them all. "Your Majesty was victorious in the worm hunt 50 years ago." As Svan spoke, his gaze shifted for a moment to the top of the mountain where his foe lay in wait. "I apologize. I did not mean to deceive you, but I simply cannot lose you as I did your father. He was my dearest friend." Leonard's tone became grave. Svan's father had been a knight under the king. 10 years ago, he had fought bravely and lost his life against the dragon when it had attacked without warning. Not even a body had remained. Leonard had defeated the dragon then too. But now, 10 years later, the beast had returned. "I am arisen. I have already lost my life once. No heart beats in my chest now. If I cannot defeat the dragon and reclaim my heart, I will never have my life back." "Even if you win, you will not regain your heart. I have learned that myself," Leonard said kindly. "Serve me as a knight for eternity. You will be the most trusted servant of the eternal God King." "Even if my heart does not return to me, I cannot move forward knowing that the dragon lives. Please believe me, I swear I will defeat it," Svan pleaded. "Surely, if anyone can take on the dragon alone, it is you. But look at the army I have assembled here. They have overcome their fear and will lay their lives on the line to save their kingdom. Can I tell them now to lay down their weapons? Think of how they would despise me. We cannot pin all our hopes on a single hero." With a strained smile, Leonard laid his hand on Savon's shoulder. Stay here, and watch over these brave soldiers. If they fall, and if I fall, in battle, then I leave the rest to you. He continued, shaking Savon's shoulder as if to encourage him. Savon looked stunned. You are our last hope, should the rest of us fail. I hope you will understand. With a nod of his head, Leonard held out his arm to stop Savon from approaching further, then turned to embrace a lord who had approached. The two exchanged smiles and greetings. The tent next to mine is open. Please rest a while, Leonard said to Savon before continuing his conversation with the lord. Savon bowed to Leonard and entered the tent the king had indicated. Sald followed him silently. The tent was fully furnished, including bed and table, and a carpet had been laid down. Savon sat down and rested his trembling fists on the table. He was doing all he could to control himself, but even Sald could recognize the anger mounting inside him. So, His Majesty does not believe me to be worthy. He thinks I have no chance of defeating the dragon. Sald had no answer, but he knew that Savon had been deeply wounded by Leonard's deception. In Sald's eyes, Leonard was not worthy to be Savon's master. Shall we head for the dragon's lair? Just the two of us? Sald proposed. If only we could, Savon sighed deeply. But I am still His Majesty's retainer. I cannot disobey him so easily. But King Leonard has already betrayed you. Sald had no master but Savon. He had no reason to revere anyone else, not even one who ruled over the entire continent. It is said the king has defeated the dragon many times. Then why did he not deal with it more quickly this time? Because of his inaction, it attacked the castle and tried to kidnap the princess. The king could have ended the matter then and there. Instead, he sat on his throne while his knights all fled in fear. Only you remained, Master Savon. Was it not for that reason the dragon deemed you worthy and chose you as the Arisen? Enough, Savon said harshly. I was only doing my duty as a knight. My comrades deserve no blame. I was as frightened as the rest of them. I did not face the dragon hoping to win, but I could not disgrace my father who fought and died so bravely. His Majesty raised me as one of his own children after my father died. He taught me the way of the sword. I had to repay him somehow, especially for the sake of the princess who I thought of as my own sister. I do not think of you as a brother, Sir Savon. A voice suddenly rang out as the entryway to the tent opened and a young woman walked in. Savon stared at her, dumbfounded. Golden hair cascaded over her shoulders in waves. Her eyes were clear and blue. Sald knew this woman. She was Princess Elise, Leonard's daughter, of whom Savon had just spoken. Forgive my insolence, Savon returned to his senses. He left his seat and knelt before the princess. Insolence? Her eyes narrowed. I was impertinent to suggest that your highness was like a sister. Impertinent? Her expression grew even more severe. I am pleased that you would dote on me as your own sister, Sir Savon, she continued resolutely. However, know that my feelings for you are not that of a sister for her brother. Savon looked bewildered at her words, but Sald understood her clearly. With his master's pleading gaze on him, he spoke up, not pausing to consider his words. Her Highness favors Master Savon as a woman does a man, does she not? Precisely, Elise beamed. I've heard the pawns do not have emotions or hearts, but I must say you understand a woman's heart very well. Your Highness! Savon staggered to his feet, looking flustered. I have come to realize my feelings for you, Elise continued. Why do I only think of you, whether I am awake or dreaming? Why do I feel a pain in my heart when I cannot see you? My maids are far more experienced in these matters. They told me that this is called love. I know now that I love you, Sir Savon. She gazed at Savon, eyes now misty. I am arisen. Until the dragon is defeated, I cannot think of... It is the same for me. Until it is slain, my life is worth nothing. There was no trace of fear on the princess's face as she spoke. Sald could see her resolve. Why then has your highness come here? The dragon is near. This place will soon become a battlefield. Would you have me hide away in the castle dungeons? Elise frowned. Father bade me come here with him. Even if I stay behind, you and father would not be there. We both thought it safer if I came here. But Savan was at a loss for words. It seemed he had no counter-argument. Apart from Savan, the other knights at Leonard's castle had all fled when the dragon attacked. Sald privately agreed that remaining at the castle would be unwise. Until that terrible beast is slain, we cannot move forward. But right now, the two of us are here, together. Not even the dragon could keep us apart. Isn't that right? The princess asked Savan, then glanced at Sald. Sald was no expert at interpreting human expressions, but he knew what was being asked of him now. He nodded wordlessly and exited the tent. Behind him, the two silhouettes visible through the side of the tent became one. Naturally, as a pawn, Sald did not experience romantic feelings. He turned away to see Leonard among a crowd of nobles. The king was smiling, yet his gaze was not turned to those around him, but to the tent where Savan and the princess were. It was a gaze sharp as steel. Sald shivered. For a moment he thought he glimpsed a deep abyss behind those eyes.